There's 6 of you.
There are 6.
Alright, so there you go, guys. Zoom people. So list 1 is, now in order to create a blank list, it's just that. 2 empty brackets. This is our 5th data type for variables. Who can name the other 4? Give me one. One per person. Brandon. String is 1.
Oh. Float.
Float.
Integer.
Integer, yep. Last one. Boolean, yep. Now the 5th one is list. Now, a lot of times you typically want to start with an empty list and then you add to it just like we would with a running total. And so if we were doing a running total with numbers, what would total equal? No, Cole, what?
I said 0, but that's
Nope, that's correct.
Oh.
Or if we're multiplying by something, what would it need to be? 1, yeah, because anything times 0 is 0. We also have, now if I wanted to have names, well, and I want to do a running total with strings, what would names have to equal? Nope, that's when I'm adding names to it, Brandon.
It's just the single quote.
Yep, 2 single quotes. That's just an empty string, just like we have an empty list and numbers. So oftentimes you start with a list like this. You know, you have list of items or list of names, and you add a loop. With a loop, you add to it and add to it. So we're going to start with our first list. So we're going to go list 1 is, and what I do a lot of times to make it quick, I do the 2 brackets. And instead of then going, okay, Kevin, that, Lorian, that. That's tedious to me. I'll just go, and then I'll go, right? That's a lot faster than having to type the name and then that. If I know I'm typing in a lot of names like I just did, that's what I do. Or same thing with list 2 is, if I know, actually I only do it with lists, or with strings. Now, you can have it be filled with a bunch of stuff. I can have lists of numbers. I can have lists of variables. So I can have lists, I can mix stuff together too. I can have list 4 is hello. And then I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can have x, y. I can also do list 5, and I can have trues and falses. I can have list 6 is list 1, list 2, list 3. I can have lists inside of lists, which is what we do for our game. We have lists that contain the x and y coordinates of our characters, and then we cycle through that list. So it's a list of lists, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a sec. What questions do you guys have so far? Zoom people, any questions? No? Okay. Just so you guys know, the items in a list are called elements. So if I say, what's the 5th element? That's a movie. What is the 5th element in a list? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be Brandon of list 1. So if you're doing a for loop, I'd recommend for lm. This is used a lot, for lm, short for element, or you can even put element if you'd like. You guys don't have to copy that down. It's just good coding practice. Do you have a question, Kevin? No? Okay. Questions so far? All right, so I'm going to wait for you guys to stop typing, and then I want you guys to pay attention up here. You won't copy this next bit of code. You'll just watch.
Like this is spelled wrong now.
What?
I spelled list so many times, I feel like it should be spelled differently. It looks like the I has it.
When you hear the same word over and over and over, you're like, wait, that can't be. I saw a clip from a movie, and it was 2 doctors meeting like 6 other doctors, and it was like doctor, 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 doctor. They're all like introducing themselves, so it was like doctor, doctor, and it was just like 30 times you heard the word doctor, and I'm like, that just sounds weird at this point. All right, so what we use are, I'm going to copy a list from the previous class just so I don't have to copy it again. You guys do not need to copy this. So this is in our game we have a list of lists, and each individual list contains the x, y coordinates of a bad guy. So this would be the x, y coordinates of bad guy 1. This is the x, y coordinates of bad guy 2. This is the x, y coordinates of bad guy 3. This is the x, y coordinates of bad guy 4. Make sense? So what we do is we do for element bad guys. Again, you guys do not need to copy this. I just want you to pay attention. We are going to print blit bad guy at. So this is how we blit bad guys. We have our coordinates, and for every coordinate, we blit them at that spot. Does that make sense? You can also, I'm going to copy this line again. What we do for movement, is we actually subtract a number from the x coordinate to make him move across the screen. So that's what we're going to see here. Just a bunch of numbers, but bad guy 1 is at 155.65, and then he's at 154, and then 153, and then 152, and then 151, and then 150. So that guy is moving 1 pixel at a time per cycle. That's about 30 cycles a second, so he's moving 30 pixels a second, which is pretty slow. In our game, we have our bad guys move at about we have our bad guys move at about 7 pixels a cycle. So that's like in 3 seconds they'll cover the screen. So, now fun fact: if you change this number, so instead of having, actually it would be x, but instead of having in our game the movement speed be -7, so he moves again leftward. He moves from right to left at 7 pixels a cycle. You can change that to be a variable. And you can have it, whether it be a power-up or a difficulty increase, you could have if power-up is true, bad guy speed is 3, so it cuts it in half. Or if difficulty increases, you could have it move to 14. So you could double it or cut it in half. All by having, remember how we went over that in the game, our variables. So if you have if power-up is true, then you have these sets of variables. If level 1 or 2 is true, you have these sets of variables. And then in our loop of the game, we have those variables set, so we can speed up our good guys, slow down our bad guys, or give bad guys more health, or our guy more health. Questions so far? Really? No one?
Wait, could you go back up to where your code was?
You guys do not have to copy these for loops. You don't have to.
I know, but I'd rather have it than not.
But we're going to go over this later. This isn't the only time we're going to go over for loops in a list. Okay. Okay. So, now in order to get, so if I have list 1, there we go. So we have list 1. This is people's names. What if I wanted to print just Cole?
List 1.
Very close. List 1 what?
How was it element 4?
Very close.
4.
Very close. Brandon?
List 1 bracket 3.
Whoa. Did you read the book? Why is it 3? That'd be Anna, wouldn't it?
No, Kevin's at 0.
Why is Kevin at 0?
You can't say it.
How do you know that?
Go before.
Oh, he's coded before. He's correct. Now, real quick, notice it has to be brackets following the list. It cannot be parentheses. Now, and this right here, not callable, that's something we learned with functions that if we finish enough of the book throughout the semester, we'll learn functions. And what that does is it allows you to essentially to reuse code. So you can write one section of code and then use that entire section of code later elsewhere in your code. Or you can save it and import it like we do random, which is actually really cool. It's also not the curly brackets. Curly brackets are for something else. That's called a dictionary, which if you got to understand lists in order to understand a dictionary, and then just regular brackets. Excuse me. So list bracket list 1 bracket 3. Nope. List 1 bracket 3. Haha. I know what I'm doing. So list 3 gives us Cole. Awesome. Okay. I can also add, because Cole, what type of variable, what kind of data type is this?
String.
String. It is an element, yes, but that's not a data type, Cole. But it is a string. How do we know it's a string?
Those are the quotations.
Yep, the quotations here. So that means I can go hello, Cole. Pretty cool, no? That's very cool.
Wait, I'm a little confused about like the looping through lists.
Yeah?
Are you gonna go over that a little more later?
Not today.
Do we have to understand it?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we're gonna go over. That was just why do we need to learn lists? Well, because our entire game code is that loop cycling through our bad guys and the arrows. So that was just an example as to what we use it for, not one that you necessarily have to know right now, just because we're learning the basics. But we will probably tomorrow learn how to loop through a list. Cool?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Questions so far? Brandon? You were shaking your head, like, or were you just vibing? He was in the zone. He was like, code, yeah, man. Okay, so, next thing. How many items are in this list? How many elements are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 items. What happens if I type in 123? Oh, I did misspell. Good job, you guys caught that one. I was wondering if you guys were going to start catching those mistakes. Oopsies. Oh, well, feel free to. Because, you know, I'm testing you guys. Whenever I make a mistake, it's just me testing you to make sure you're paying attention. I never make mistakes on accident. So what'll happen if I hit enter right now, Cole? What?
It would say it's like out of range because you only have 7.
Oh, out of range. Did you make that error already?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would
I'm not
print
that smart.
the first one, the second one, and then the third one.
No. So it's taking list index is out of range. What it's saying is that it's looking for the 124th item, and it's 124th because if it starts at 0, right? So far, if this starts at 0, if Kevin is 0 index, then it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if it's a 123, it's looking for the 124th item out of a 7-item list.
So if you were to go list 6, like list 1 6, it would give you,
You're just drunk. Uh-oh. We just lost Andre.
so if you did like list 1 bracket 6, then that would use that. And
Yep.
yeah, what the fuck?
So, yes, Anna. Sure. So we're looking for the 124th item in a 7-item list. Does that exist? No. It's kind of like trying to find inch 14 on a foot-long ruler. Just, you're not going to find it. So you get that list index out of range, and what that tells you is you're looking for something that doesn't exist. And typically this happens with a for loop. You're going for x in range, and you guys don't have to copy this either. This is just an example. What did I do over here? Yeah, 10 print list 1 bracket x. And it prints all the names, and then, because this would be, range 10 gives us what numbers? 0 through what? 9. So it prints list 0, list 1, list 2, list 3, list 4, list 5, list 6, list 7, boom, we're out of range. Because there's not 8 items in the list. Does that make sense? Now you can get around that if you use the length function that we learned. I think we learned about that. If not, this is the length function. It tells you how many things are in a list. So that goes for, what's the length of list 1? 1, 2. The length is 7 because there's 7 items in the list. The index, kind of like range, goes from 0 to 6. So if I have range of 7, what numbers is that, Cole?
Range of 7.
Yep.
Would be 1, would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Correct. What is?
What did he say?
It's length. It's 0 to 6. If I have range 7, range 7 gives me numbers 0 to 6. So list of 0 is Kevin, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it ends. We don't get an error. So a good way to make sure you don't get that index error is you can use this. You can use the list to go through the list. I know that sounds a little weird, but you can have the length. You can use the list to get the length of it to make sure that you just run through the numbers that make up the list.
So you're not getting an error by doing that?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep. Questions? Oh, excuse me. All right, so we got list 1. List 6 is our list of lists. Now, do you guys remember what I called list of like a list made out of lists? What type of list it was? Not a running list. We live in a 3D world, not a 2D. So it's a 2-dimensional list, means there's 2 lists in it. Or I think the term nested lists works. I know you have nested loops. I'm not sure if nested lists is a thing, but maybe. So let's say now I want to print Brandon. I want to print that name. How would I do that? So if we start with list 6, Lauren?
Would you go bracket 4?
Why are we getting list index out of range? We only have 3 things in list 6. So we, according to list 6, this here is 1 element, this entire list. Then I have a comma. This is element 2, and then element 3. Lorian and then Cole.
So then when you do list 6 bracket, list 1 bracket,
List
4 bracket,
6.
bracket,
Hang on. List 6 bracket. What'd you say?
list 1 bracket, 4 bracket, bracket.
No. Cole?
I tried what I was gonna say, didn't work. I was gonna do a comma, I was gonna do like 1 comma.
Oh, close.
4, no.
Close. Wait, so you did list 6 bracket 1 comma 4?
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's close. Anna, did you have a suggestion?
No, I just didn't
So if we did 1 4, this is index 0, right? Because it's the first element. So 1 4, Cole, would actually give us this right here is 1. And then we'd have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would have given us 5. You're very close.
So it'd be 0,
Yeah, so just tell me the numbers I would need.
0,
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, you want Brandon, sorry.
Yeah, Brandon. Not everything's about you, Cole.
No, I was, on mine, I didn't put enough names.
Oh.
I was looking at 1 off. But that's fine.
Gotcha, I'm messing with you.
List
So, oh, did I not save attendance?
0,
No, I did. Okay.
1, 2,
Huh, wonder where Andre went. Oh, his charger died and he needs a new one. So what we do is we actually put 2 brackets. So we get list. That's what you were gonna say? Say it next time.
Similar to Brandon's.
Yep, you just need, because what this does, this gives us the 4th index of the 0 index of list 6. What do you guys think happens if I do this?
wait,
It'll give you an error of some sort, or you get 4 and then the third one.
Strings have indexes too. So it gives you the n, because this would be 0,
it gives
1,
you the
2,
third-
3, index gives you the n. We'll go over strings with indexes when we cover the chapter on strings, which is chapter 6, I think. So questions so far? I will take that as a no. So let me get the next, this thing. Okay, now this is gonna be fun. List 7 is, good catch, times int
Whoa.
So basically what I did, and I didn't explain this to the other class, but I will tomorrow, you can multiply the items in a list by an integer. So if I want the same list repeated 10 times, I can just do list 1 times blank. Just an FYI. We'll get to that later though. Now, I want to print the last name in this list. Without counting or doing the math, how do I print that? How do I print my name? What are you guys' ideas? Think through.
Wait, can I say what I think it is?
Go ahead, Asher.
Don't you like say like some wait, is this thing a list of lists? Or what? Is it just one list?
You tell me.
So when you just do like list and then -1.
You can do -1. Now, the reason you can do that is because indexes work 2 ways. Hopefully this brings up, yeah. I got a little crazy.
Is it just one list?
I'm just gonna erase all this,
So what?
actually. Ah, great, my computer.
When you just do like list and then -1.
Yes. So, list, you can use negative indexes to get the same numbers. So if I have, here's my list. Hello world. I am alive. It's, you know, AI. First we have index 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense to everyone? Then you can have -1 corresponds to the same thing as 4, then -2, -3, -4, and -5. Does that make sense?
So you could write it like brackets of 0 and then the brackets of -3 if you wanted to get odd.
Yep, you could use either one, 2 or -3 to get I. You could also probably do, if you do the length of the list times -1 all in a bracket of the list, that would give you the first thing. Because the length of this, what's the length of this list here? Nope. 5. 5 times -1 is, and what is list bracket -5? Gives you the first thing, yeah. A little complicated, and you don't need to do it that way, but you can also, to get this, you can do the -1, and then there's a slightly more, that's the easier way. I'll show you the harder way, just so you guys know it. You can also do list 7 bracket length of list 7 minus 1. Because what is the length of list 7? What number am I going to get? Oops. Well, you guys don't know because I told you not to count it. Gives me 119. So that tells me there's 119 items in this list. Really? What? What's 159 divided by 9? Not 119. Oh, that's right. Okay. You're much smarter than I am, Luke. But then I multiply that by 7 or something like that. Okay, so if I have 119 items and I do list 7, 119, what am I going to get? The length. Nope, I'm going to get an error.
Oh, because it has to be one less.
Has to be one less than the length. Yep. So list 7 bracket 118 gives me Zach. So if I do the length of the list, I have to subtract 1, or I can just have -1, and it starts at the very end. So that one's easier, I think. All right, let me scroll through because I have like a thick 1,000 bajillion lines. Questions so far? Again, I don't know exactly when we get out, so I will do my best. Let's make sure we get everything done. Questions? No. All right, so the last thing we're probably going to learn, because I'm so great at time management, is list slicing. Now, we do splice things later. So slicing is what we're going to use, the term. So slicing a list is basically we're going to take a chunk out of it. We're going to leave the original list, but we're going to take a chunk out. So I'm going to, so you guys need days, and then my little speedy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And we're going to go Monday, Tuesday, 1, 2, 3, Wednesday, 1, 2, 3, Thursday, 1, 2, 3, Friday, 1, 2, 3, Saturday, 1, 2, 3, Sunday. So those are my days of the week. What do you guys consider? And ladies, what do you all, whatever, consider the weekend? Saturday and Sunday. So if I wanted to if I wanted to display just Saturday, Sunday, what do you guys think I would use? Lorian?
I'd say days. So 5 out of 6.
That'd be 5 on home and then 6 on home.
You could do 5. Sasu. But what we're actually gonna do is if you use a colon. No way. That's it? I felt like I was going much faster with you guys. So real quick, slices, a colon. If you don't have anything before it, it starts at the beginning. If you don't have anything after it, it goes to the end. So we'll start back up with this on tomorrow. No homework, but there will be in-class problems with lists for tomorrow.
We're here for
What?
We're here for
What do you mean we're here?
meeting.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. All right, well, I'll continue to teach through the break. No, I'm kidding. That's not fair. But yeah, you can pick and choose where to start, and you can take out just a chunk of a list. So we'll stop there. No. No, I don't have. It's just wait, just 1 second, Cole. All right, so that's it. I'm going to stop the recording.